Did you know that more than 90% of cyber attacks can be prevented? Focus Technology helps organizations create a cybersecurity framework to minimize your risk of being attacked. Let Focus Technology's certified team conduct an assessment to determine where the gaps are in your organization, no matter how big or small your company is. Utilizing the industry's best tools, Focus Technology security operations team will monitor and stop bad actors before it's too late. Contact Focus Technology today at focustsi.com and secure your company's most valuable assets. That's focustsi.com. A&B Burger in Beverly and A&B Kitchen and Bar in Boston are redefining guest expectations of a casual restaurant. Both A&B restaurant locations are focused on hospitality, creative menus, and delicious food and drinks. Now, I've been to both restaurants many times and loved everything I've tried. Get to A&B Burger on Cabot Street in Beverly or head across the street from our studio at the TD Garden to A&B Kitchen and Bar in Boston today and experience the A&B difference yourself. I promise you're going to love it.
Kerrigan and Company is here for you. Yes, Kerrigan and Company is here for you.
Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Kerrigan and Company, presented by A&B Burger. Keeping me company today as my co-host is Boston's favorite comedian and certainly mine, Lenny Clarke. Lenny has a new TV show and tells me he's the oldest guy on TV. Now, I'm not sure if that's true, but we're going to find out next on Kerrigan and Company. Welcome, everybody, to our first episode of Kerrigan and Company. It's brought to us by A&B Burger. I am so excited that we are finally here in the Big Night Studios and finally recording. Now, just so you know, because this is the first show, the premise behind this is that somebody's going to keep me company each week, someone different. And this week, I could not be more thrilled. On my very first episode, to have an old friend, somebody who makes me laugh very hard and has for years and probably does the same for you, Lenny Clarke is with me. You are a saint.
I love you. Are you kidding me? When I was starting out in comedy, you were always so kind to me and so encouraging and so great. And now look at us, right?
I know.
I'm in the company, the Kerrigan and Company.
You are the company today, my friend. You know, when I called you to see if you would do this, first words out of your mouth were, yes, if I'm in town, I absolutely will do it. I do have to go to Aruba with my sister. You did. You told me that right off the bat. But you also, I mentioned, gosh, we're going to be able to talk about your new network TV show, which we're going to do, of course. Yeah. And you said to me, Kim, I got a new show, and I'm the oldest guy on TV, except for Tom Selleck. And I said, that cannot be right. So I did a little research about that. Tom Selleck is 78.
Oh,
and you're 70.
70. Can you put 70? I beat the under.
Yeah, he's an old guy. But guess what? There's one older than he is.
Who?
Sam Waterston
from
on Law and Order.
Wow.
How old do you think he is?
100. No, well, he's got to be.
He's 100.
He's got to be 82.
83.
Wow.
So you got a long way to go before you're the oldest guy.
Yeah. Well,
Extended Family, NBC.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
I got to tell you, I don't know that I've ever been in the company of someone who's had so many network shows. No joke.
I've had more failed pilots than the Iraqi Air Force. But I got to tell you, I've been on every network with a show and been the lead. And I have never been happier than where I am right now. Because NBC and Lionsgate, they said, Lenny, are you happy? I said, am I happy? I'm like a rescue dog before he was gassed. Are you kidding me? I couldn't be happier. I'm so happy to be. And the people I'm working with, between Wick Grossbeck, Emilia, Tom Werner, Mike O'Malley, John, the whole cast.
Right.
It's incredible.
Well, we got to back up for a second because I got to kind of figure this out. Because, obviously, if you've seen this show and if you haven't, then you need to watch it on Tuesday nights. It's at 8:30 on NBC here. This is the story of Wick Grousbeck, the owner of the Celtics, his second wife, and her ex-husband.
Yep.
So, is it irony that you ended up in this show as a Bostonian? Or, how did this all happen?
Wick had mentioned to me a few years back that he was going to write a treatment and would I be interested? I went, yeah. And then Mike O'Malley had said, Lenny, I really want to work with you again. And I go, yeah. And then Tom Werner goes, you'd be perfect for it. I said, Tom, I said, I'm a phone call away. You know, what are these people thinking? You know what I mean? When I'm not doing network television, I'm doing stand-up.
Right.
And I've done it for almost 50 years, and, you know, I'm ready to let the kids have it. You know what I mean? So I couldn't believe that it was like a perfect storm of people coming together.
Yeah.
And I ended up on the show.
So did you have competition? Was somebody else reading for your part? What
You know,
happened?
they had originally asked me to come out and do a couple shows. And I said, okay. So I was going by the green room, and I saw my face on a TV, and someone was saying, this isn't working out. I went, duh, I'm going to get fired. And then Lionsgate said, it's definitely not working out. And I went, oh, my God, I'm going to get fired. I only did one show. And they said, we need him every show. And I went, so I went right to craft services. Give me something to eat. I'm staying.
I'm ready for a snack.
Yeah, I'm staying. So, and then they reshot the pilot to put me in it. And I mean, that wasn't cheap, you know. And I am just so grateful. And I love it. You go, I'm the first one to work. I'm like Brady. I'm the first one there, last one to go. Every day. And they picked up on that. They go, Lenny, are you living here? And I go, no, I'm at the hotel, but I just love my job. I love what I'm doing.
Well, it's a great storyline. I mean, and it's really fun. And we're going to talk more about that storyline because Amelia's going to join us a little bit later. So we're going to get a chance to chat with her about the whole thing. What's it like, though, to be on network TV like that? Is it fun? I mean, you're saying it's fun. You're saying it's the best part of your, you know.
It is. I mean, you know, I've done it so much, you know, in the past, and to do it now at this age, you know, I mean, I would like to ride this into retirement. I'm already retired. I retired like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm getting more work now that I'm retired than I did when I was working.
I think you mentioned to me you've got a Super Bowl ad coming, right?
Oh, I had it. I did it already. It was last year for Sam Adams. And I did it with the kid, my cousin from Boston, who's from Newburyport. What a sweet kid, terrific actor, really good. And then I did the DraftKings, and then the network show. I mean,
it's good stuff. It's really great.
I am so grateful, so blessed.
You know, you said you've been retired, but that's just you talking.
No, really. No. I retired from SAG, and then I had to get more insurance, and then now SAG says, "Oh, you're back." I said, "Really?" Yes.
So give us your dues.
Yeah, I pay
right now.
Gladly play my I pay my dues gladly.
You betly. But you still are doing stand up.
Yeah. You
like stand up? Tell me about it.
Well, I got to tell you, it's lost some of the. Well, if I'm doing a theater, I love. But I mean, I still work some clubs. You know, I work clubs and bar rooms and saloons where the only people who aren't heckling are passed out. You know what I mean? Everyone, you know, because I've just done it for so long, and I mean, all the young kids coming up now, I think they're great. Let them have it. You know what I mean? I still enjoy, like I said, when the theaters, when people, you know, pay big money to come and sit and listen.
Right.
You know, because, I mean, people say, you're so good with hecklers. I said, yeah, because I hate them. You know, I mean, when people used to heckle me when I first started, I would just bombard them.
Right,
right. And I remember Don Gavin said, you know, you could have took that guy out with a .25 pistol, and yet you used a howitzer. I mean, because I was nervous.
Of course.
I was nervous. You know, people say, do you get nervous before you go on? I go, yeah. Still, I go, yeah. Every single performance I do, because I feel if you're not nervous about it, you shouldn't be doing it.
Well, I got to tell you something. When I go to a club and I see a comedian, I'm nervous for the comedian because somebody's heckling.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's secondhand embarrassment for me. It's hard. So I can't even imagine what it's like when you're up there.
I don't lose the hecklers. You know, I never have because nervous, and I'm a wreck, and I never know what's going to come out of me. You know, and like I write bits, but I forget to write them down. So, you know, and then I create a lot when I'm on stage. I try to keep it all current. I've never done the same show twice. It's not because I'm an artist or a genius. I just can't remember what I did last time.
Right.
So it's always fresh, and it all depends on the crowd. You know, because you'll get a crowd that is so great, you don't want to get off. You know, you just keep going. But then there's crowds that, you know, they get drunk, they heckle, and go, oh man,
Can't get
how
out of
much
there
longer?
fast enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're looking at your watch.
Yeah. Oh,
Please give me the hook.
Right,
I need to get out.
And now with the new watches, it'll vibrate when you've got your time done. And I go, oh, I think I'm done. But I try to give the best performance every single time I can, because I appreciate people coming out to a live and see stuff. And I want them. I want them to be. I want to make them happy. I want to make them laugh.
But you got that reputation of making people laugh. Let me ask you, what is funny to you? I mean, I'm not sure that I've ever asked a comedian that. What's funny?
I've never been asked that question.
Yeah.
I don't. If you make me laugh, I mean, I did.
Yeah.
Because there were some people. There were some people that I've seen that I really don't want to like this person, but wow, they made me laugh, so now I have to like them. You know what I mean? And there are other people that have all the hype in the world, and I go, I don't get it. You know? And so I'm not a really tough laugh because I like to be happy, and I want to make other people happy. But you gotta make me laugh.
Yeah, sure.
And
yeah, well, you got to make me laugh too, and you've made me laugh since you walked in this studio. I do have to say today. I got to tell you, all my years on television and on Fox 25, we would have comedians come and go all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say some names because it would be really cruel, but I'll never forget we had a comedian who came in, and we were all in anticipation of this guy coming, and he walked in with just the worst grimace on his face, and he wasn't funny. And somebody said something to him about it, and he said, funny is what I do for a living, and I'm not on the job. Is that something, are comedians funny, or, are they that guy?
There were some comedians like that.
Yeah.
And they're very successful. And
this was a very successful person.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there are other people who are just so funny on and off stage. But I've never heard anyone say, that's my job.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, that's my job.
I feel what I do when I make people laugh, that's a God-given talent. I mean, no one in my family was in show business. My dad worked for the Herald. My mom was a school teacher. We're a poor family, and I still can't believe I do this, Yeah. And I do like making people laugh, And I'm like when I work with Dennis for Comics Come Home. We've done it 26 years now. Raised millions of dollars for cancer research.
So great, by the way. So great.
It's just a beautiful thing. And I work with guys that come in that are the hottest thing in comedy. And I don't want to be the funniest, but I do want to be your favorite. I got a different. That's my niche. I don't care. They're all funny. Everyone's funny. And I don't judge anybody. There's no robes on me. But if you make me laugh, there's a much better chance we're going to be good friends.
Okay, so tell me about that moment when you're up there on the stage, and boy, you just lay out the joke you've been waiting to put out there, and not a soul laughs.
Oh, I've done that.
It's got it. I mean, again, secondhand embarrassment on my part.
Yeah,
What happens?
Well, for me, I tend to give up on it more. In the early days, I would work that joke and I would tell that joke, and it would bomb every single time. And I go, I know it's funny, because there'd be a couple people that were hilariously laughing, and I go, see, you get it, but it's really odd.
It's got to be hard to go to the next joke.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the, right that minute, I'd have to just turn and run,
Funny, you become funny, fast, and loud.
Right.
Funny, fast, and loud. Funny, fast, and loud. That's it. Oh God, there was one that it's gone now, but I used to do it, and I knew it was a funny joke, and I got a couple now that I've been doing lately that I know are funny, but it'll get half a crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And give up. You know what I mean? Maybe another comedian won't let it go because he knows it's funny, and he'll hone it and shape it and change it. But I mean, if the crowd, I try to please the crowd.
Yeah.
I want to be a crowd pleaser.
Sure.
I'm not out there thinking I'm the the smartest guy in the room. I'm not the smartest guy in the room even when I'm alone. I just want to make people laugh.
So let me ask you about that. I think comedians are really smart.
I agree.
You have to be quick. You have to be, on your game at all times. What do you think about audiences? Are audiences smart in this day and age, or have they gotten smarter? Or have they gotten less? What do you think?
The audiences in Boston are incredibly smart.
Yeah.
Because they've been subject to some great comics that have come out of here.
Right.
And when we first started, when we were doing the Ding Ho, there'd be Harvard students, MIT students, and then there'd be the locals, and they demand it. Like, if you weren't doing good, you suck tonight. And I go,
I bet.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
You've made it clear.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, they would let you know. They would let you know.
Yeah.
And, like, I was talking with Stephen Wright not too long ago, and he's one of the most brilliant people you'd ever want to meet, both on and off stage. He's just incredible. And he said, Lenny, I got not booed, but oohed, when he did a joke. And I said, you? I said, you're the most acceptable guy I've ever seen on stage. And it's nothing's offensive. It's just his mind. And you go, wow, how did he think of that? That's brilliant. And I said, well, it's gone this far, with the Me Too and the You Too and I can't keep up with what's new in the pronouns. Oh my God.
Yeah, us, them, they, their, how, when,
I'm still
why.
trying to figure out what a dangling participle is. I've never been good with the English grammar or punctuation, and now I have to worry about who you are.
Absolutely. Let's talk about charity work. You mentioned Comics Come Home. My gosh, you guys, I don't even know. The last show was last November in 23. Up to that point, you'd raised $13 million over the years for Kim Neely's foundation.
And I think it's 15 now.
Oh,
and
Lenny.
every dime of that money goes to either research or to the Neely House. And the Neely House is such a great. If someone in your family is suffering from cancer, your whole family can go with you.
Absolutely.
And my wife, two-time breast cancer survivor, and I was staying at. We'd come up from the vineyard. We'd stay at hotels, and pretty expensive hotels in Boston. And Kim said, "What are you doing staying at hotels? Why don't you stay at the house?" I said, "Well, I don't." Lenny, you raised millions for this. Stay at the house. So I stayed at the house, and they have like 2 Iron Chef kitchens. So I started cooking. And I was going to Whole Foods down the street and coming back and cooking all sorts of stuff. And people were going, I say, try this. And they'd sit down and they go, this is delicious. I go, well, thank you very much. So then they went and they go, that chef is unbelievable. He's not a chef. His wife's getting treatment. And it was so relaxing to be able to be someplace and, take care of her and then bring it to the hospital for the treatments. And
well, what? I mean, what a great way to really put your heart and soul into a project because you've used it. So you know what it's about.
And you know where the money's going. A lot of times you donate money and some of these big charities, and I'm not going to slam anyone, but there's like 2 out of every $100 goes to what you spend on versus on executive positions, and
unfortunately, that's so true.
It's a scam.
Yeah, it is true. That is true. So true. You got to be so careful. Why is charity work so important to you?
I tell you why. Because when I would do that, my mom and dad would say, "We're so proud of you," and to hear that from your parents, because they were all till the day I die. All I'll hear in my mind is my mother saying, "Leonard, what is wrong with you?" I'll take that to my grave. And, we were so close. I was close to my mom and dad. It was no unfinished business. And she said, "I saw you on the news the other night at the Children's Hospital. I'm so proud of you." I said, "Ma, thanks." And that made her so happy. And a lot of the young kids coming up, they say, "Mr. Clarke," because I'm so old now. They go, "Mr. Clarke, you're always in the paper or always on TV. How do you do that?" And I go, "Do charity work." And they go, "And what does that pay?" I go, "It's charity work, you idiot. You devote your time. You go out and you raise money for the organizations. Like I'm always in with the Mass General Children's Hospital.
Yeah,
always in with them.
Right.
And I do the auction every year for them, and then the Boston Children's Hospital. And I mean, any children's hospital. I rarely say no. There was one time this woman wanted me to do a benefit for her niece's goldfish that died. I swear to God. I'm going, you know, I can't do that. I'm a little bit busy, you know. I mean, but I do, of course, MS and cystic fibrosis, you know, and pretty much all of them. I don't know which ones. I was doing the oh my God, the Franciscan Children's Hospital.
Yes.
And I went there, and
then you're hooked, aren't you?
And Tim Wakefield had that. Wakefield. He was a saint. I'm really telling you, he was such a wonderful person, and he had built the Wakefield field out and back for the wiffle ball.
Exactly.
And then, of course, the hockey player took over. He just passed too.
Yeah, and I can't. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't know who it is.
This is why my short-term memory. Travis Roy.
No, Travis Roy.
Travis Roy.
Yeah.
And he took over, and then we ended up at BU.
Yes.
And there were thousands and thousands of people playing wiffle ball and raising money for the hospital.
It's so great.
It's just, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be able to be at a level to dedicate myself in time. You know, I mean, if anyone says, "Oh, you're a celebrity," I go, "Am I a celebrity enough to help?"
Right.
Because I use that to raise money for these charities.
Well,
you know,
I got to tell you, I think you're somebody who has appreciated your celebrity and uses it for good, and not everybody does that. I do have to say, not everybody does that. Lenny, I got to take a couple of your minutes here.
Okay.
We have this franchise piece here in Kerrigan and Company. And it's called the Fast Five.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, it's Focus Technology's Fast Five. And by the way, Focus Technology is your trusted IT partner for cybersecurity, cloud, and managed services. So thanks to Focus Technology.
I got to get involved with them just to get the stuff back out of the cloud. Because people, where is it? It's in the cloud. What cloud? Out there? How do I get it from the cloud to get it back?
Where is it?
I've had so much stuff of mine go to the cloud, I've never seen it again. Oh, it's there. Where? In the cloud. And I go, I don't know where the cloud is. How do I've never seen anything says, for your stuff in the cloud, push here. You know?
These guys do incredible work. They go in and make sure that your business is not prone for cyber attacks and stuff like that. It's really, you know, they're our friends at Focus Technology.
Good.
All right, so here's the story.
Yeah.
You got 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to ask you 5 things. I need a rapid response from you.
Yep.
You go over the 30 seconds, a hook comes, yanks you out, just like we mentioned, or your watch will start to vibrate.
Okay.
So, all right. And if Pete's ready, this is our Fast Five. Again, before we move ahead, let's do the Focus Technology Fast Five. Focus Technology is your trusted IT partner for cybersecurity, cloud, and managed services. All right, Lenny, here we go. Stand up or acting?
Acting.
Funniest man or woman, alive or dead?
George Carlin.
Celtics or Bruins?
Oh, that's Celtics.
They're the hand that feeds you. Be smart.
That's right. Let's not be stupid. I can always shift.
Biggest pet peeve? 30 seconds.
I know. People, idiots on planes.
And who's the first girl you kissed?
Pam Greenwood.
And who is Pam Greenwood?
She was a cheerleader in high school. And first love, and the first one I kissed at Matt. And I've never heard from her ever again.
Well, maybe, who knows? Maybe Pam will hear this and she's going to want to
say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but can I tell you something about pet peeves? That's mine too. People on planes that are jerks,
that are rude, that are mean to children, mean to the flight attendants. I mean, what's wrong with you? We're on a sealed tube.
Exactly.
Traveling across this is
a shared experience, people. Let's all try to get along.
I flew in the heyday of planes.
When they smoked?
That too. But I smoked in Athens, Greece. I was coming out of Athens, Greece, and I was in first class. And first class people could smoke. And I never really smoked cigarettes, but I got one just so I could smoke. I was on the USO tour. I said, I'm smoking. I'm in first. Everyone in first, they're all Europeans. They all love to smoke. I said, isn't this great? Oh, yeah. I mean,
All right, Lenny, this has been so fun. Now, Lenny and I are going to have some more company.
Okay.
I'm very excited about
Me
this.
too.
Now, as if this woman does not have a big enough job, she is the co-founder and the executive chair of a very high-end tequila company. She's also taken on the job of being a producer on your NBC show.
And I think it's executive producer. Is it? Yep, I'm pretty sure.
Emilia Fazzalari is going to join us
I love
coming up
her.
next.
Oh, God, what a woman.
This is Kerrigan and Company. You know, after the podcast, a lot of times we head over to A&B Kitchen and Bar across the street from our Big Night studio. It's right here at the TD Garden. I got to tell you, folks, I love it there. My problem is that I can never decide what I'm going to order. So the last time I was there, I had the Mediterranean bowl. It really is one of my favorites. It's a mix of quinoa, kale, fried chickpeas, red onions, cucumber, and my favorite, feta cheese. I've also had the turkey burger there, and on top is melted brie. Oh, it is fantastic. I usually have fries. So good. My mouth is already watering. Next time I go, I am definitely going to try the spicy tuna poke bowl. Whatever I decide, I know it's never going to disappoint me. That is for sure. Be sure you check it out. It's A&B Kitchen and Bar, right across from the TD Garden. Do you know what generative AI is and how your company can ensure employees are more productive? Focus Technology can help you master the use of Microsoft's newest tool, Copilot. This powerful tool can help your team speed up many of their daily tasks by enabling hands-on learning directly with the software. It can summarize long emails, generate drafts of long documents, and search for answers to key questions. Copilot represents a unique opportunity for businesses to accelerate their understanding of what generative AI can deliver for their company. Contact Focus Technology today to learn more at focustsi.com and bring your organization into the AI revolution. That's focustsi.com. If you're looking for a great page-turner book, I highly recommend Trevor. It's written by S. Hilbrey Thompson. Now, unable to escape his past, Matt Stone heads north, leaving behind the memory of his dead wife and son. His journey takes a turn when he comes across his late son's doppelganger, Trevor Reed. Blinded by the resemblance, Matt becomes obsessed and begins to stalk the little boy. Little does Trevor know, he becomes wrapped up in Matt's delusions. Before long, the local authorities, FBI, and an enthusiastic reporter are all actively involved. When Trevor disappears, his family will do anything to get him back. A chase starts on Boston's North Shore and leads to an island on Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. Trevor is gripping from the first page. It's fast-moving, it's suspenseful, it's touching, and it's tragic all at the same time. I have to tell you, folks, I loved this book, and I highly recommend it. Purchase Trevor by S. Hilbrey Thompson on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and other online book retailers.
If you like rum, you're going to love Rumson's Rum, New England's most award-winning rum brand. Rumson creates distinctive and savory flavor profiles by hand-selecting and marrying the finest barrel-aged Caribbean rums. The spirits are then blended and finished in the New England Rum House. Choose from Rumson's Gold, Spiced, Grand Reserve, or Coffee Rum, which is smooth and sweet with a warm roasted coffee flavor, a hint of vanilla, and a decadent buttery finish. Find Rumson's at liquor stores or ask for it at your favorite restaurant. Learn more at rumsons.com. That's rumsons.com. Rumsons. Life lived, life enjoyed.
This segment of Kerrigan and Company is brought to you by Lucia Lighting and Design, where people in the know go for the best possible lighting and design experience.
Kerrigan and Company is here for you. Yes, Kerrigan and Company is here for you.
Welcome back to Kerrigan and Company. It's presented by A&B Burger, and keeping me company today is Lenny Clarke. How you doing so far?
Great. Are you kidding me? My boss is on the show.
So shape up.
You're right.
I'm not going to tell her all the things you've already said today. Lenny, of course, is on the new hit show. It's an NBC show, Extended Family. You can see it on Tuesday nights at 8:30. And joining us right now, and I'm so happy to have her with us. And I had the great pleasure, Lenny, by the way, of spending some time with her last week, and it was great fun. So joining us is Emilia Fazzalari. She is the co-founder, and she's the executive chairman of Cincoro Tequila. But Lenny, what's the reasoning behind her joining us today, how it relates to you.
Oh, she's my boss. Okay. Are you kidding me? She's an executive producer of the new #1 hit comedy in television.
I know.
And I am thrilled. Every time I see her, I'm always happy. Always. I see her, I go, my face just breaks into a smile. I say, hello, boss. And I got to tell you, it's so amazing to be on TV at my age and to be at a project where I can't wait to get to work. Every day.
And Emilia, he has said that 2 or 3 times this morning, so he's not just saying it because you're here with us. I want you to know. So let's talk a little bit about extended family. It's actually your family story. So tell everybody about how this came about.
Sure. Well, it's loosely inspired based on our relationship and our family dynamic. And so I was married 19 years to George Gere. And when we were going through the divorce, our children were 8 and 11, and we decided to put the kids first. That was super important to us. And we didn't want them to suffer because we were splitting up. And so what that meant was minimizing the disruption in their life as much as possible. So no back and forth between homes. The kids stayed put in our family home, which we refer to as the nest. And George and I would swap in and out on our designated weeks. And it's worked super well for us, and everyone is happy.
So how did it become a sitcom, though?
Yeah, so this is where it all gets kind of funny. So George is originally from Needham, Massachusetts. And when Wick came into the picture later, George and the kids were really great about welcoming Wick into the family. And so occasionally we would all go out to dinner. And at one of those dinners, George and I got into a heated conversation, as we sometimes do. and so Wick was observing this, and he sort of sat back and laughed and said, this is a sitcom. And you two thought you were done when you got divorced, but you're actually not done. And that's what we should call the show. We thought we were done. And that was actually our original working title. And so we pitched this idea to Tom Warner, who has won 24 Emmys doing sitcoms. And Tom loved the idea and told us that we needed to write a treatment. So Wick did. He wrote the first draft, showed it to me, and then George. And we all collaborated on it and then pitched it to the networks during the pandemic. And NBC and Lionsgate jumped in. Mike O'Malley jumped in, who is tremendous. He's phenomenal and has been just a joy to work with. And so that was kind of the background, how it all started, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So I want to talk specifically, and you shared this story, and you and I have been talking about it, about the pilot. Because I know you say that it's loosely based on, but then you turned around and told me that actually the pilot was based pretty close to an actual event in your lives. And you even sent me pictures, and we're going to show some of these pictures. And the pilot, of course, was about Google's the fish and how Google's died. So tell everybody real quickly the story about Google's the fish and how that really went down.
Yeah, so the pilot, the part of the pilot happens to be true. My daughter had a fish named Google's that she put her dad, George, in charge of taking care of it while she was away at summer camp. And 2 days before she was scheduled to come home, we get a text from George that Google's the fish is dead and floating on top of the fishbowl. But not to worry, because he has a plan. So he stuck the fish into the freezer and froze it so that he could bring the frozen fish to Petco the next day to get a replica fish, which he did. And he put it in the tank, sent a text to Wick and me, and said, "We got the replica. Everything's in place.
It's all good.
Google's 2.0. And she'll never know the difference." And I said, no, we cannot lie to our daughter. And Wick was steadfast. We are not going to lie to Francesca. But George thought this was a brilliant plan. So we 2 days later, go to meet the camp bus to meet Francesca. And we tell George we are not going to support this plan. And he says, "Well, please let me break it to Francesca gently tonight, since I've got the kids tonight." Sure, no problem. Camp bus arrives, the doors open, Francesca comes out. George elbows his way in to get the first hug. So I said, okay, fine. I'll take the pictures. And I noticed that he's whispering in her ear, and I'm thinking he's whispering how much he misses her. No, in fact, what he whispered was, Googles is dead. Wick killed her and then asked me to lie about it. And that was the look on her face.
Oh my! I didn't know that was a true story when we were shooting it.
Yeah, that was sort of the basis of the pilot.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Hey, how did you get hold of this guy here?
Oh my gosh. Well, everybody loves Lenny. With
That's
all
the next show. Everybody loves Lenny. There you go.
Lenny. That's the next show. With all the Boston connections between Wick and George and Tom and Mike O'Malley, Lenny was the obvious choice, and his character is really special. He is no nonsense. He calls it like it is. There's humor threaded throughout. And actually, a little known fact is that Lenny was appearing as a guest in the 3rd episode, and he was so hilarious and so fun and so great that we reshot the first 2 episodes to include him.
Oh,
Lenny.
Thank you.
You didn't say that.
Well, you know
part.
what? They asked me, "Are you happy, Lenny?" And I said, "I'm happier than a rescue dog. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited to be on this show." And it's just everyone they've assembled, the cast, the crew. It's like 5-star. I mean, right from top to bottom, and everyone loves being there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've been on shows where people, I don't want to do this.
Right. It's tough to get there every week.
Yeah.
Amelia, tell everybody about how you guys cast the show.
Well, that was a really fun experience. And, George and Wick and I were doing this for the first time. And, we really looked for people who could capture the essence of the characters. And we were so lucky, with our cast, John Cryer and Donald Faison and Abigail Spencer. I mean, they're tremendous. The kids are phenomenal.
Oh, I love the kids, yeah.
Ben and Sophia, they're absolutely phenomenal. So it was a really fun process, but it was just, really forming a connection with the cast, and saw that happen right away.
I mean, that has got to be really strange, though, to be trying to cast someone to be you, to be your family.
It was fun, but like I said, it's loosely based, and now they're kind of sort of taking it and running with it, and everyone's having a great time with it.
Super. Who is Bobby?
Bobby.
That's
yeah.
Does Bobby really exist? Is that your former father-in-law, or how does that work?
Yeah. So no.
Who is Bobby?
I have to say, Bobby is more of a personality like George's mom.
Oh, that's nice.
That I hate to say that, but unfortunately, both of George's parents have passed away. But it's that sort of no nonsense, tough love. Humor throughout that really resonated with.
I have to tell you, there's something about the character that also kind of reminds me of Kramer from Seinfeld, because you pop in all of a sudden out of nowhere, the door opens and you come in with some line, and then all of a sudden you're just gone again, So and I love that, it's got to be a lot of fun.
It's the most fun I've had. I mean, I can't get over it. I really, I just love it. And when you said, I remind you of George's mom. My mom was the funniest, and my dad was dead serious. But my mom was a riot, and that's where I think I get the humor from my mother. Yeah.
Well, women are just funnier than men. Let's just write it, right?
I don't know if they're funnier. Smarter. Definitely smarter. But fun, I don't know.
Hey, Amelia, so, you've taken on this role, obviously, with the show, and it's great. And Lenny's having a blast. So if nothing else, if you can just keep it going for Lenny, it's obvious that that's going to be a huge success. But you do have another little side gig. You are the CEO and the founder of Cincoro Tequila. We've actually got a bottle of it sitting here.
And look how beautiful it is. And there's no worm.
For having that on the set.
There's no worm.
He can't get over the worm.
No worm.
Well,
Lenny, no worm.
Amelia explained it. It's a fine,
It's an upscale.
Ultra
tequila.
luxury.
Yeah,
Ultra luxury.
Ultra luxury. Because you and I know when we were drinking tequila, it was the worm. People wanted the worm. I don't want a worm in my booze.
It used to be that you had to mix it with something sweet, obviously,
Right.
which would make a margarita because it was so bad. But that's not the case with this.
No, it's delicious. It's a delicious sipping tequila.
Yeah.
And tequila drinkers love it. Whiskey drinkers love it. Cognac drinkers love it. And even if you've had a bad experience with tequila, you should try Cincoro. You'll love it too.
Did you hear what she said? What a bad experience with tequila. That's right.
There's been a few of those out there.
Yeah.
I had a bottle with extra worms, and I don't drink anymore. But if I did, I'd take that home.
I gotta tell
because I
you.
see people drinking, they seem so happy.
Well, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I want you to tell everybody, if they don't know the background on, how this came about, because it really is a fabulous story.
Thank you. So it was the summer of 2016, and Wick was on the labor committee at the NBA with Jeannie Buss and Wes Edens and Michael Jordan. And there was a 2-day meeting in New York City. And so we all decided to get together for dinner on the first night, and something really special happened. We bonded as a team, and we realized that night we all had a shared love for tequila. And it was actually Michael who taught us how to drink tequila. He was a real tequila connoisseur in the group, and he likes to drink it with one large rock and a slice of orange. And so we talked about creating our own tequila and really making it a very unique, approachable taste profile. And we launched the company in 2019. We've sold over $2 million. We've won over 24 awards. And by the way, I see the Blanco there. I'm going to send you a bottle of our Repo and Añejo because those are great too.
Great.
So it's really been
I'm
a great
accepting
ride.
gifts. I can put a single rock and a piece of orange in it. I can assure you of that. The bottle itself is like art. And you told me something about the angles on it. There are 23. Explain that.
Yeah, so Michael and Mark Smith collaborated on designing this gorgeous bottle. And there's all these embedded 23-degree angles as a nod to MJ's jersey number. So the bottom of the bottle actually slants 23 degrees. The stopper slants down 23 degrees. And if you look at the bottle from the side, it actually resembles an agave leaf. There's a slight slant to the bottle. But what makes that special is that if you end up lining up 23 bottles, head to toe, they form a perfect circle, and the diameter of that circle is the same as the tip-off circle in an NBA court.
Wow. Some thought went into this.
No, that is awesome. I had no idea.
So Michael Jordan, now why do I know that name?
I say if it's good enough for Michael Jordan, it's good enough for me.
Oh,
what do you
my
think?
God. Well, I have that in my bar on the show. And the other night I went to give Joel Murray, Bill's brother, he did the show. And I went to give him that. And they said, no, not that. Don't put that out. I said, okay.
But Emilia told me, she said, if you look really closely, it's like Where's Waldo? On every episode, you will see a bottle of Cincoro on the show. So I'm going to just say to people, start watching and start looking. And I'm going to give him one hint, okay? He just gave a hint in the bar, right? But in the house, you will also see it. It is in the house.
Oh, it's all different places on the set. And I go, wow. And then they told me, that's Wick and Emilia's tequila. I go, really? I go, man, that's something I didn't know. Thank God I'm not drinking. When I drank, I used to get invited everywhere. Now that I don't drink, I get invited back.
So, Emilia, tell me what it's like to be the head of a company like this. I mean, as a woman in the spirits world, I mean, and I'm not talking about spirits like as another world. I'm talking about alcohol. That's got to be a pretty tough gig.
It is. The spirits industry is very competitive. Tequila is a sector that's really on fire, and there's been a ton of tequilas that have launched over the last several years. But we don't shy away from competition. We're, a competitive spirit is certainly at the core of our group, Michael being the most competitive. But we think it's healthy to have competition. It really makes everybody work harder. to try to be the best, to try to win.
Yeah.
When we launched Cincoro, the 5 of us represented 4 NBA teams that compete with one another. And so it's an interesting dynamic for sure. But, my partners are very collaborative by nature. They're very team oriented, and it works really well. We're a very tight-knit group.
When you guys are together, do you talk about basketball or do you only talk about tequila?
Oh, no. There's a lot of discussion about basketball, a little trash talking that goes on amongst us. But yeah, there's a little jibing back and forth, but
that's good stuff.
It's all in good spirit.
Wick had me to a game years ago when he was the new owner, and I was screaming at this player. And the referee came over and said, if you don't shut him up, I'm going to tee you up. And I looked at Wick, the referee, and I said, can he do that? He goes, I don't know. And then later, Wick got teed up. He goes, oh, Lenny, by the way, yeah, I can get teed up.
Oh, gosh. Well, it's great tequila. I love it, I have to tell you. In fact, to celebrate this first episode of Kerrigan and Company, we're going over to A&B afterward. We're going to have a shot of tequila. So
they're great.
I just want you to know how much we appreciate you being here. Anything you want to say to your boss?
Yes, I love you, boss.
Okay,
I really
was
do.
Say, do you want to suck up this opportunity?
I can't thank you enough. I can't wait to go back to work. As you know, we're waiting for the pickup. Yeah. And it's all in the network's hands. You know what I mean? But the waiting is the toughest part, because it's a great show. Everyone loves the show. I was in Stop and Shop. People go, hey, I love the show. And I go, I'm glad you do.
Let me give you this number. Call. Emilia, thanks. Thanks a bunch for being with us.
Great to see you both. Thank you.
Great to see you, Emilia. Can't wait to see you again.
So I don't know what you're thinking, Kern. You should be thinking me. I gave you this opportunity to suck up to the boss.
We're not done yet. I'll be thanking you for the next 10 minutes.
All right. So listen, you are on this new show. So if you were first off, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Manifesting. This is like a buzzword this last year and a half on social media. Everybody's manifesting, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how to manifest?
Well, I think it's a new crazy word that used to replace visualization. Because when Larry Bird played for the Celtics, he would always visualize. He would visualize the entire game. And I would try to visualize how I was going to be on stage that particular night. And when I visualized, 99 out of 100 times, it went so much better,
Sure.
But the manifesting, of course, is, big with Oprah,
Yes.
and how successful she is. Because I did Oprah. I didn't have sex with her. I did her show. And I loved her. She was a great lady. And she's into manifesting. And some other very successful people I know are into manifesting. I don't know enough about it. I would like to know more about it.
My thing about it is just, are we talking about, do I just go in a corner and I just say, I am going to have 1 million listeners to my podcast, and then they're just going to come? I don't get it. I have a problem with it. I'm having a problem
this.
getting
You
there.
say, I want all of you people to tell everyone you know, so I can get 1 million viewers on my podcast. Being in the corner, not going to do anything. But out here, we need 1 million viewers by the end of the day. No pressure.
No pressures. Now I know how to manifest. Forget this next segment. All right, still coming your way. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to have a manifesting expert come in.
Oh.
She's going to work with us. She's going to teach us how to do this, which I think there's a little more to it than just looking straight at the camera. But I'm with you on that. That wasn't so bad. So she's going to come and she's going to join us, and she's going to talk to us about how to do this.
Look at what you've done today. You've explained you can have tequila without eating a dirty worm.
Yes, I have.
You have got you filled in on the show, and then you explained to us about your sponsor, the IT people. What's their name?
Focus Technology.
See, I'm unfocused. I want to know more about them so I can get my stuff out of the cloud and maybe just shake it out of the cloud and have it go away. Because there's some stuff I'm sure we don't want to see. But and now we're going to learn how to manifest. I'm excited.
All right. Well, I hope everybody's excited who's listening. And just in a moment, we're going to have that manifestation expert coming your way. This is Kerrigan and Company. I have to tell you, folks, I think lighting in your home is one of the most important things that you can do to keep the house updated. And when I need new lighting, I head to Lucia Lighting and Design. Their spectacular 10,000 square foot showroom inside a beautiful mansion in Lynn, Massachusetts is decorated with both architectural and decorative lighting in every single style. From crystal and traditional to contemporary and modern, the selection is absolutely unmatched. Whenever I'm looking for new lighting, as I mentioned, I head to Lucia Lighting and Design. And when I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for, I rely on the expert guidance of their design team. I know that they can help me. Learn more and book your appointment today. It's lucialighting.com. I want to tell you about the Northeast Arc, an organization that I am so proud to work with on a regular basis. Northeast Arc has been changing lives and discovering abilities for people with disabilities and autism for some 70 years now. They help people with diverse abilities across Massachusetts live as fully included members of society, choosing for themselves how to live, learn, work, socialize, and play. They're hiring, and if you'd like to join their dedicated team, this is how you do it. Visit ne-arc.org/careers. A&B Burger in Beverly and A&B Kitchen and Bar in Boston are redefining guest expectations of a casual restaurant. Both A&B restaurant locations are focused on hospitality, creative menus, and delicious food and drinks. Now, I've been to both restaurants many times and loved everything I've tried. Get to A&B Burger on Cabot Street in Beverly or head across the street from our studio at the TD Garden to A&B Kitchen and Bar in Boston today and experience the A&B difference yourself. I promise you're going to love it.
Big Night Studios is now open for all content creators. Are you looking to start a podcast? Looking to expand your brand? Then visit bignightmedia.com. Check out our rates, check out the studio, and see all the podcasts we have to offer. That's bignightmedia.com.
This segment of Kerrigan and Company is brought to you by Great Point Wealth Advisors. If you're close to retirement and want a better plan for the future, connect with greatpointwealth.com today. That's Great Point Wealth. They can help.
Kerrigan and Company is here for you. Yes, Kerrigan and Company is here for you.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Kerrigan and Company. We're having a great time on this first episode, and keeping me company today is our own Lenny Clarke. Of course, we are presented by A&B Burger, and we thank our good friends over there at A&B Burger for being our presenting sponsor. Yeah, if you've got a minute, they're right across the street here from the TD Garden. That's where we're located, and wow, so good and so fun, and you can get Cincoro tequila
With your burger.
So let me tell you, I have this new show. You have a new show.
Right.
And everybody is talking about manifesting. Mm-hmm. They're manifesting, great things into their lives. And I love that idea. I just don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I thought to myself, you know what? Lenny and I need some help. We want to manifest positive things, right?
Yes.
So I started looking around for a great manifesting expert, and I found one. And she is sitting next to you. This is Carla Chalah. Am I saying that correct?
Chalah.
Chalah.
Carla Chalah.
Carla Chalah, and she's the
Carla
owner
Chalah.
of Everybody in Mind Wellness Center. It's out in Sudbury, and we're glad that you could join us. Thank you for being here. It's so fun.
Thank you very much. And actually, my first passion is hemisphere hypnotherapy, which is my private hypnotherapy practice.
Now, you won't put us under just sitting here talking to us.
Well, you would never know, so.
I love it.
Oh, Lenny.
Oh, my God.
Who knows? We may be dancing on this thing before it's all said and done. We won't even know what we've done.
Oh, my. Carla Chalah is in the house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, listen, we can hear more about that, but let's start with the manifesting thing, okay?
Yes.
So it is true, right? This has all of a sudden become, and I say all of a sudden, in the last year or so, everybody is manifesting, or everybody's a manifesting expert. So what really is that?
Well, I think you know more about manifestation than what both of you give yourselves credit for, because I could probably learn a thing or two from you about manifesting, because I did my own research and both of you have some very successful manifestation. and I'm going to pick on Lenny for a second.
Please do,
losing
Carla.
200 pounds, I would say that's some pretty powerful manifestation right there. But really, in my mind, what manifestation is about taking actionable steps. So I feel like there is societally this idea of manifestation being this woo-woo thing where you sprinkle fairy dust and magically things appear and things happen in your life. And really, that's not the case at all. Across the board, pretty much, no matter what it is that you're manifesting, whether it's success in career, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in friendships, whether it's in business, it really does take action. So it kind of cracks me up when, I have certain girlfriends that will say things like, oh yeah, I'm going to manifest this, amazing man into my life, but I'm not into online dating and I'm not going to date anyone. And I'm basically
He's just going to appear.
He's just going to magically appear like a ninja, like drop through the ceiling in their living room. And that, as I said, that's not how it works. It really is about setting clear intentions. And having a clear understanding, first of all, what it is that you're manifesting. Because energetically, if we consider the energy of what manifestation is, it really is a receiving energy, right? So it's things that you're calling in, which from a vibrational perspective is all about gratitude. So it's starting from a place of having gratitude for this amazing show, getting, to spend time together, having conversations and dialogue about things that we're passionate about, and really investing energy in those things that we're passionate about. Because if you look at the law of attraction and the way that we attract the things that we desire, it's about spending more time in that energy. So if we start to develop habits like, practicing gratitude every day, you're essentially telling the universe, I'm already grateful for these things which I assume I'm going to have, which I assume I'm going to get, which makes it easier then for the universe to deliver and to call those things in. So sort of from a broad perspective, that's the way that I think of manifestation, as well as, doing things like visualization. I myself have actually had a pretty impressive weight loss journey, maybe not as impressive as yours.
Lovely.
But congratulations, though, because I have so much respect for that. Yeah. And again, it's about actionable steps. It's not like one day you magically decide, you know what, I'm going to lose 200 pounds. Right. And you'd be the first one to tell anyone that. But it's about every day being in that energy, making those choices. I was reading an article that you were interviewed in, and you were saying things like, if you really want that slice of cake, you can have the cake, but have a small piece of the cake versus having the whole cake.
Yeah, rather than the whole cake, which I used to.
But again, coming back to manifestation, it is really about having that deep-seated belief also, and coming from a place of believing that we're deserving. And again, spending time in that energy, connecting with people that, are of like energy, that are uplifting, that are positive, and starting your day on a positive note as well.
It's really self-reflection in some ways.
Yeah.
And by the way, what you're saying is so fabulous and so interesting, but you've got the greatest accent. Where are you from?
Oh,
I am so sucked into you that Lenny and I can just sit here and not speak for the rest of this time.
We didn't interrupt her once.
No.
Not even interject. Forget the interrupt. We didn't even interject. But I thought the session. Where's that?
Where are you from?
I'll let you guess.
I don't.
I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
Southern Hemisphere.
Middle East?
No. She's so. Are you from Australia? Somewhere?
South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
that's
somebody in the studio said South Africa. It's beautiful.
Your accent
it's fabulous.
is beautiful.
It is.
Now, serious question, because you mentioned visualization. Is visualization considered part of manifestation? What's the difference?
Well, I think as with many things, there's crossover, right? So the same way that when we're communicating, it's like asking, is eye contact part of communication, right? Eye contact is important in communication, but it's not necessarily communication. It's one facet of communication.
Now I have to interject.
Sure.
I don't know if you've noticed, But while you've been speaking, I've been looking at your lips rather than your eyes, because I read something the other day that said when you're interested in someone and you want to let them know you are listening to everything, look to their lips rather than their eyes. Now, I've always been an eye contact person because it's a sign of respect, but I'm willing to learn new things. But I was listening to every single thing you said and watching you say it. I mean, I don't know how that affected you in dealing with me, but
Dealing with you.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of people say, I dealt with him. But I am fascinated by it because I already, it's like you said, we'd be surprised that we know more than we're giving ourselves credit for.
Right.
Because I do try to start the day on a positive note. I do, I have looked in the mirror and I have said when I was I want that Emmy. I really want to win an Emmy because it's like you said.
Sorry to interrupt you.
You're not interrupting.
But the change that I would recommend there is saying I have the Emmy, right? I already have it. I'm already grateful for the Emmy. I can already imagine myself receiving the Emmy, going up on stage, looking into the camera and accepting that Emmy and what that would feel like. Right.
So this is where this takes me back to the idea that manifestation is really about how you feel. It's an inward. You're looking inward. Because I've heard people say that before. If you want to manifest something, you have to feel, again, almost like visualization. You have to feel what it is. And know that you have that, and
be grateful.
And be grateful for it. Yeah. Now that's for some, that's where it's like fairy dust, and
I love what you just said because that's how I will change it. I say, I have the Emmy. Don't screw it up.
But yeah.
So that you again bring me to a really interesting point. So there's two things that you said that I would point out. The first was, and I know it was kind of like flippant the way that you said it, but like deal with you, right?
Yes.
And then you said don't screw it up. So language is also a really big indicator of what's happening under the surface, sort of what's happening deeper down. Both in terms of verbal spoken language, the way that we communicate with others, right?
Yes.
As well as internal dialogue, so our own self-talk, the way that we communicate with ourselves.
Yes.
Yep.
If we pick up on things like, one of the most common mistakes that I find that my clients make, and I instruct as well, is that they do what I call negating the negative. So if I were to say to the two of you, and if you were sitting in my office, I have a big pink elephant that sits up on my shelf like a stuffed animal. And I'll say to my clients, okay, don't think about the pink elephant. And literally, they all turn around, to look at the pink elephant, right?
Yep.
The way that the mind processes information is the moment we negate something. So I don't want to screw it up, or I don't want to be late, or I don't want to gain weight, or I don't want to, insert the blank, right? The brain doesn't know the difference. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between something that's negated versus the thing that we actually want. So when it comes to manifestation, it's really important to pay attention both to our inner dialogue as well as to the things that we say out loud.
Sure.
In my personal experience, about a year ago, I was having a conversation with a colleague, and I found myself saying something to her along the lines of, you know what, I just don't get it. I'm so good. I've helped thousands of people lose weight. I've won awards. I've done, all of these things, but I can't seem to help myself. I gained all this weight, since I had kids. And as I said it, it finally dawned on me. I'm like, oh my gosh, Carla, you do this for a living. And you've been having this conversation, this internal dialogue about, I can't help myself. I can't do this. This is so hard. And I mean, it sounds simple, but it really is quite simple. I mean, manifestation is not this complicated thing that we do. We do it every single day. And the more we spin it into the positive and direct it intentionally towards what we want, and defining it is really important too. So if we say something like success in 2024, well, success for me looks very different.
Right.
Like for you, success might be winning an Emmy, right? For me, success might be something quite different, right? For somebody else, it might be putting food on the table.
But let me interject right there and ask you this. when people think about manifesting, you'll hear some of these experts say, manifest your wildest dreams. Well, I might want to manifest that I want an Emmy, but I'm not in a situation that I'm going to win an Emmy. He is. So how about people who are manifesting things that they're not in a position to really get to?
Great question.
I mean,
Well, I think that's what I meant when I said intentional.
it has to be realistic,
it has
essentially.
but also kind of stretching one's imagination, because just because it's not realistic right now, doesn't mean that in a year or 2 or 5 years from now, you could win an Emmy if you took actionable steps towards winning an Emmy, right? It just perhaps right now is not part of that manifestation at this point, right? If you ask anybody who's overweight, and you said, if you had said to me a year ago, you know what, by, January, what is today, the 23rd, you're going to be down 75 pounds, or 77 pounds actually as of this morning, 77.1.
Congratulations.
I would have been like, you're crazy, there's no way, it's not possible, right? But again, it's about actionable steps. The more we take those actionable steps and we're really intentional about what it is that we're manifesting, the easier it becomes to manifest.
Now, let me interject if I could. Because what you said, like you said, the flippant remark, and 2 other people have told me exactly what you told me. And I have the utmost respect for them. And they're really successful people. And I've got to remember that. Even kidding around.
Okay, I am remembering this.
I am remembering it. You're right. You're exact. The words are so powerful, and it's a big part of the manifesto. Yeah. Wow.
So making it present is really key. So when we say things like I need to or I should, I'll say to my clients, you're shoulding yourself to death. I should do this and I should do that, and I could have done that, and I could have, done whatever.
I am.
Even better. Oh my God, you are an expert.
She is an expert.
And so easy to listen to and grasp what she's saying.
Carla, this has been so fantastic. Honestly, I have thought that this was fairy dust. This is as I said to Lenny earlier, run into the corner and say, $1 million, it's mine, $1 million, it's mine. But you've put it into, realistic terms for all of us. We can joke about it, but, you've made it, you're going to do the right thing, right, Lenny?
I have the Emmy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I will gladly share it with you. And you will hold it, and then you will have the Emmy.
And then I will have an Emmy. Carla is the owner of Everybody in Mind Wellness Center. It's in Sudbury. We're so glad that you could be part of Kerrigan & Company today. It's been a lot of fun.
Congratulations on your latest achievement.
Same to you.
Absolutely. This is Kerrigan & Company. It takes more than manifesting what you want in your financial life. You need a plan. No matter what stage of life you're in, it's never too early or too late to start ensuring a secure financial future. Start the new year with a new attitude about your finances. Check out Great Point Wealth Advisors' short-form podcast, Great Points. It's available on most streaming platforms, or you can contact Matt Schroeder at greatpointwealth.com. That's greatpointwealth.com. Oh, Lenny, this has been so fun.
I've had a blast.
It went so quick, didn't it?
It went so fast, and we put so much out there.
I know.
We've given to the universe.
We have. We've learned about
We've X manifestation. We've given stuff away. Now I'm going to go home and manifest.
Yes.
I'm going to look in the mirror, and I'm going to get a mirror I can carry with me.
I hope you do. And, you've already won that Emmy. Congratulations.
Know, thank you. It was probably one of the greatest nights of my life.
Fantastic. I wish we had more time that we could talk about that. But, well, that's over.
Moving on.
Listen, it's Extended Family, Tuesday nights, 8:30. It's a ton of fun. I really enjoy it. Can I tell you something? For somebody who has spent most of my life on TV, I get so excited when I see somebody that I know on TV.
Oh, my God.
And now I'm going to be extra excited.
Oh, my God. Well, it's so funny when you're watching TV with someone who's watching TV and they go, it's like they can't, like a tennis ball.
I bet.
That's you. Yeah. My nephew said, Uncle Lenny, how can you be there? I'm magical.
So listen, continued success. Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you.
Oh, anything for you. Will you kid me? My pleasure.
It's Kerrigan and Company, folks. We'll see you again next week. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Kerrigan and Company. To find out who will keep me company and be my co-host on the next episode, be sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Kerrigan and Company is recorded at the Big Night Studios at the TD Garden in Boston. You can view the podcast on YouTube and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure you tell a friend. The executive producer of Kerrigan and Company is David Thompson. Our engineer is Peter Hurley, and our social media managers are Grace Kerrigan, Colby Thompson, and Riley Thompson. See you next time.
Yes, Kerrigan and Company, yeah.